Starting up late on a Monday night with my man Darnell. Darnell, I didn't think this was gonna happen, man. We were troubleshooting for a while here. What's good?
Yeah. Good to be here, man.
Thanks
Good to
for
see
joining
you.
us.
All right.
Yeah, man. I didn't think we were gonna be able to do this. We tried in the past, and it was a little shaky.
Right.
And then we kept in touch and said we got to do it again.
Right.
We got on the phone today, and the audio wasn't working at first, and then the audio picked up, and then we were talking for another 10, 15 minutes, and the video wasn't picking up, and then all of a sudden the video picked up, and now we're rocking.
Right. We're here.
So we're here now. But Darnell,
Yeah.
thanks for joining me, man, because I'd spoken to you a while back and wanted to have you on the podcast.
Right.
I appreciate you coming on. We've
Thank
been
you.
friends
Yeah.
since, I want to say, like maybe 8 years old or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
There's
That's
a photo
what
of
it's-
us
That's what it's.
on a basketball team playing together, old school dad's club.
Mhm.
And we were boys back then, and we sort of just hadn't been in touch for years, man. I would have to say, like 20, 22 years or something crazy like that, right?
Yeah. It's been a while, man.
So yeah, I mean, we just fell out of contact, but we were always close through maybe social media here and there, touching, reaching out to each other through, mutual contacts, mutual friends. So it's good to get back in touch with you. It's good to start talking again.
Yeah.
What are your, first off, if you want to just, the floor is yours. If you want to just, do a little introduction to yourself and, let people know about yourself.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. First of all, I appreciate you having me
Of course.
on the podcast. Right now, like I said, my name is Darnell. A lot of people know me as ID. ID has been, a moniker of mine for the past 15 years or so. Throughout from like maybe latter high school.
Is there any meaning behind that?
Yeah. So ID. Yeah. ID was my name was originally ID McFly, and it was given to me by somebody from Hartsdale. He was a guy by the name of Tony Lopez. He gave me this nickname one day because I was trying to do a project for high school, and this project for high school is probably how I developed into my ID as the guy doing music and different things and so on and so forth that's branched out. So I got the name one night. I was interning, doing this project. I went to a high school called Woodlands. You familiar?
Of course, yeah. My brother went to, yep.
Yeah, so I graduated from there. And there was a program called WISE where I did a project that basically wanted to show myself as a concert promoter. That was what I saw my cousins doing, and they were throwing parties and stuff and making a bunch of money, and it was, it was pretty
lucrative.
good.
Yeah, looked good.
Yeah, the entertainment business, like I got bit by that bug at an early age and wanted to be able to do that. So my project, more from ninth grade, wanted to do parties, these big parties where I have 1,000 kids come, to, all right, now I want to do an actual concert as a teenager, and it was pretty, ambitious. So, a lot of people weren't really, okay. So, but I was flying under the radar of this project, and I generated some interest over the school year. By the end of the school year, it was kind of like, I have this interest, but I have nobody to really sign up while I'm going to do this. So it's like, okay, I'm with this guy, Tony, and he's like, all right, let's reach out to a friend of mine, so he had a DJ who I work with closely, who's still on tour with Ja Rule and stuff like that now to this day. And he basically said, oh, yeah, all right. It was one Tuesday afternoon. The project is due on Friday. Shambles, fourth quarter as usual.
So this was an actual project for school that you were doing, but also potentially
put on this, but nobody knew what it was because I was keeping it in my head and keeping it to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want people to know what I was, because it was so many moving parts. So to keep this thing in a lid was the hardest thing to do. At the same time, trying to make it real enough for it to happen.
Yeah.
So it was, that Tuesday afternoon. I actually started the Monday night. I start from the week leading up because it happened. The project was on a Friday. So Monday night, I'm at the studio in this guy's basement, whatever like that, right in Hartsdale, right right by my school.
Uh-huh.
You know, man, I used to walk there, take a cab or whatever, and I was, working with them like, yo, guys, I need somebody. Yeah, I need to do this. You know what I mean? Come on, you guys got the connections. Put it together. We got to do this. You're like, what are you talking about, ID? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So now,
did they know it was a school project? Sorry,
they knew that they knew they were a part of my school project because they were like pseudo letting me intern with them in their up and coming, kind of situation. But they were but listen, they were legitimate. Their father, had would manage GQ back in the day. Keith Sweat, he had a bunch of a couple platinum, a couple gold ones. They were in the business. It was the family business for them to do music. Mm-hmm. So they were in the community. Tony Lopez, the father, was a basketball coach, and that's how he met my mom. And they got to talking and said, "Oh yeah, bring your son." And they met, and then my mom said, "Oh, go over there and do your music stuff." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I'm over there, and we're trying to make real stuff happen. Like he's listening songs to Swiss Beats, and to people. They're on the phone with Styles P, like, "Yo, I got another beat for you." I mean,
and just to put into context for people that are listening, like where we're from in New York is very centralized area to like Harlem, the city. Like Yonkers has a lot of rappers that came out of DMX's Rough Riders crew, and a couple of them went to Woodlands. Like J Hood, I think, was a rapper.
At one point, but I didn't know these guys personally. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I didn't know any of these guys personally. Not near one of them. And I'd be up and down and all and through. You know what I mean? I didn't know them. Yep. You know what I mean? But it was just the way life happened. So how I got into knowing these people was, through my mom meeting, their father, and they have, a parent thing, like, oh yeah, my kids are doing this, and my kids doing this, and maybe they should just do this. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they'll make something of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Are like the best wingman. They're always looking out for their kids.
His father had, invested a lot. You know what I mean? $500,000 into a studio in the house, and you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Let's put out a record. They worked with Bad Boy, and they were really doing this thing, on an independent level. You know what I mean? For the neighborhood at least. And people who are just living there, they had a lot of connections. They had a lot of potential to do some really, special things. So it was like I was, going to be under the tutelage of people who were right there in the neighborhood, really doing stuff that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
And it was helpful to like be around and see this stuff and how like these things worked and how you put out a record and all that kind of stuff. And I learned a lot from just soaking up, just being around.
I'm sure.
And it was like, well, I still got to do this project. You know what I'm saying? I got to do what I got to do now. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, but you guys got to, reciprocate. But it was still kind of like, but what is the plan? But we don't know. And it was like, well, I was trying to tell you guys, and it was like, but we didn't believe you, and it's too late now. So now it's Monday night. Mm-hmm. Like, all right. And this is before, matter of fact, I don't know if I got the name before Monday night, because I might have got it this Monday night. Mm-hmm. This might be how I got the name. If I don't want to cloud my memory too much. If memory serves me right, this might have been how I got the name. That night, we were driving around. We went to see a couple people from Terror Squad in the Bronx. Like we go to these people. Like these are not. We're not going to see Fat Joe, but we're going to see Fat Joe's guy who's handling all his security.
So the Terror Squad was actually a squad of people. It wasn't just Fat Joe.
It was like people had jobs doing different stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean, for the label or affiliates, or just like you can get in contact and things could get done because you knew the next person who you needed to talk to. So it was that kind of thing that we had these street relationships with people. Like I had a lot of street relationships. Like I would know people in the street from meeting them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you came by that one time, and you know such and such now, and I would go different. And that's how I built my relationships.
Let me ask you a quick question. How does that differ from like, what would you say, like maybe the business world where you send emails and it's like you get a response from someone and you have that mm-hmm. that email thread where you could go back and say, hey John, you told me on November 24th that you're mm-hmm. going to do this for me. How does that differ from like the street world where it's like you maybe text a guy and say, hey, meet me here at 8 and he doesn't mm-hmm. show up, or like?
Well, I think mostly, to be honest with you, that's a good question. It actually, the same rules apply. Yep. Like people want to be exact. right? You know what I mean? People want the facts, they want the exact, and they don't want,
No
nobody
bullshit.
BS.
Respect their
It
time.
doesn't matter if you're emailing,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter if you're going to be talking to them straight up. That's human stuff, right? But a lot of people don't think of it that way. They think of it as, oh, there's a street way, and there's a this way, and there's a that way. No, there's just good business
Etiquette.
how you're supposed to conduct yourself in doing good business. And that's always something that each person who does business, who does any type of anything, always be trying to enhance. You should always don't think you just know how to do that the greatest. You shouldn't just think, oh yeah, you should always be trying to make that better. 100%. You should always be trying to improve. So I was a guy who was, I dressed a certain way at the time. Like I was always over the top with the way I dressed. You know what I mean? Or not just flamboyant, but just kind of like, a lot of pizzazz or a lot of style or whatever the case is like that. And I always made myself stand out in high school. So from that, it was kind of like, okay, you can assimilate well if you're dressing like these people on TV to, be around them and take pictures and stuff like that. It's just that easy. If we know them, if we're going these places and you have that wherewithal to kind of like, mix and mingle, and that was what it was. So I was like, all right, yeah, there would be plenty of situations, but they're not going to bring me around certain street people. Just like there's certain industry or high level corporate people that you're just not going to automatically assimilate that relationship with,
Yeah.
And everybody has a way of kind of, showing their way of like, all right, we can trust you this far, we can trust you this far. Oh, okay, this is cool. And I was a young kid. So they had me, and as ironic as it sounds, he trusted me a lot. They trusted me a lot. Like these dudes, like I used to drive the car, I used to, back and forth, just designated, whatever like that, a brand new car that he had. They used to get me in the club, you know what I mean? I'm 18, I'm in the club, but it's like, they know, okay, he's not going to be in here trying to make a mess and trying to walk over to the bar and be making it hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's over here, they're having a conversation about something that's like, where else could he go to meet this guy to have this conversation, as long as the bouncers know what's going on. And I was just cool. I was just trying to do what I had to do,
Yep.
And that was how I got in the door like that. But it was also funny, like who gets that pull? Like who lets people just come in the club just because they want to have a conversation with somebody about something? So what? Figure it out somewhere else. So I just had that type of energy that I brought to them. So they always kind of like championed me and had my back and said, all right, come on, no, you coming in with us. No, you with us. No, me, F for that. No, you come with us. And I tried to always give them a different side. I gave them a more organized. I used to kind of draw planners for them. I would actually do admin work for them, and I actually, gave them good resources as an intern. Like I actually took it seriously. Like I wanted to see the best for them. And so they reciprocated and eventually said, you know what, make the call. You know what I'm saying? So that Monday night, we're riding around, we're talking to everybody, but I guess they weren't telling me what they were doing, but they were kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
On their end, without telling me exactly what was going on, because they just,
they're still unsure probably of what's happening.
Yeah, they were taught sleight of hand. The right hand never tell the left hand what it's doing. That's just how they were taught. And they father. That's exactly where I get that line from. It's from their father. So that's just how it is. But from that, I understood. All right. If I hold their feet to the fire, you know what I mean, and say, yo, this is what I need, this is who I am, that'll gonna respond. So when I did that, and I said, hey, look, I got, investors who are looking to actually stand behind me. I've been pre-approved for XYZ amount of money from some investors behind this to see it go from being my project to something that actually can, turn into a lucrative opportunity and a venture. So you guys got to stop BSing me like I'm just some little kid. I'm seriously coming to you, drawing up contracts and really trying to actually do this in a legitimate fashion.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was most taken aback. That was my first real clash, learning experience when it came to really saying, okay, the street and the music business and where you're trying to decipher like
how you actually get something done.
Right. Because a lot of what I experienced was the quagmire opposite. Oh, no, 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 no. When it really came down to it, I've talked to almost every manager of all the superstars at that point in time in high school directly. While I'm in high school and not telling anybody throughout the whole school year, just at different points, I'm conducting conversations. I'm talking to the radio stations. I'm doing a lot of different things behind the scenes, all on my own. Like I'm not reached. There's no staff. There's nobody helping me. There's nobody. This is just me and my own gumption.
The WISE program in high school allowed you that time to sort of have more freedom to do stuff outside of school, right?
Mm-hmm. They basically what it was is like you almost had like a half a day of school.
Yeah.
And then the other half of your it was only for like the second half of the school year.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wait that long because I knew what it would take. I knew what it would take to actually pull something off.
But do you think that was beneficial to your high school experience? Was having
it was when I graduated. I give all credit to that program.
Yeah.
It's just when I graduated because they give you high school credits for. I think it's like social studies and like English, something another like that. Whereas I didn't have to take these courses to just be in class, hold hum.
I think that's where a lot of people get caught up, and me in particular too. Is like you take these classes like I didn't take statistics in high school, but in college you take it, and it's just bullshit because it's like I don't use statistics now in anything I do or like earth science. It's good to know that stuff, but like I'm not looking up at what type of rock this is or whatever, where it's like people always say if you're doing more practical stuff, you're really learning more than if you're actually sitting in a classroom at 2 o'clock on a Thursday when you could be in the studio at 2 o'clock making a phone call that like is actually practical to your career because you're building a relationship with the producer, and something that could benefit you in the long run. So I think Woodlands and some schools get a bad name and get a bad rep for, whatever reasons, superintendents and administration and whatnot.
I heard about those things, but I never. I don't know. It was odd because I didn't experience too much at Woodlands. Like my tenure in that school from middle school to high school was very in and out. I wasn't in that school the entire time.
Could you see how some kids could get caught up in Woodlands and like just fall into a trap or something like that of like whatever the hell goes on, in Hartsdale, Greenberg nowadays?
I mean, I don't even know because it's really weird because I wasn't originally from there. You know what I mean? I was born in Long Island. I was, raised between, Jamaica, Queens, and Harlem. You know what I mean? Before I came to Westchester. And while in Westchester, I was always back and forth to Harlem, back and forth to Queens. You know what I mean? But I was going to school there. By the time I got to high school, I was really split my time between being in the city and being in Westchester. And that was really different because, even in that time, I spent a whole year, upstate New York, away from everything. You know what I mean? So it's like all these formidable years throughout high school. It's like I never really, that's why you said like things fall off the map because it's like I didn't do well. I think from 7th to 12th grade, I did a full year in the same school.
That's crazy.
I don't think I did. I think the first time I did a full year in the same school was 12th grade because of the WISE program. Because at that point, it was I was incentivized. I was incentivized before I got to the 12th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I get to 12th grade, I'm gonna do that program.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Class in 12th grade. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's not what I want to do. And I already knew that I wanted to spend, it was not even, like, I already knew that, I was doing this. Like, I was already planning it. I was already writing it down. I was already talking to my friends. I was already, like, making rounds. I was already knowing that when it's time for me to do WISE, like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I had figured that out maybe when I figured out what WISE was, kind of thing. Because it probably was 9th grade when I first heard of it. And it was like, okay, we keep leaving school 7th, 8th period to go to the city anyway, to go shopping, to go do this, to go do whatever. And I'm going to want to do that in 12th grade too and get credit for it. And I want to be doing that and making money.
Do you think because they gave you that option to leave school, you almost like didn't want to abuse that power of like, hey, I'm out of school, let me just go wild and go shopping and all this stuff. Whereas like, if you were forced to be in school, and I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying even for my case or something like that, it's almost like you want to rebel because you don't want to be there. But like when they give you an option, and I think this is how school should be in general, is like,
oh, when they give you an option, you're almost more enticed to do it, kind of. Yeah, I could understand that.
yeah,
I could understand that. I mean, yeah, mostly if you, like you said, you got things that are going to be practical that people can actually turn into stuff that they can get interested in.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not even saying, oh, this is going to be interesting to you. You just do it. It's like, but then what if it isn't? You know, it's kind of like, you know, like you said, if you put it out there and, you know, you allow people to grow their interest into it, you know, that's really the opportunity. I think overall, getting back to Wise and getting back to my name and getting back to like how, you know,
sorry, I want you to finish.
No, because all of this actually, this is how it happened. You know what I mean? All of this is like really detailed, like how it happened. Because my name ID stand for Intern Darnell. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole ID part of it. You know what I mean? It was like the play on words of me being an intern and my first name being Darnell, so it was like ID.
It makes sense.
You know, they were trying to play on the nerd factor of like, yo, you're always the one trying to type up something and have
official contract,
like you're always trying to be Diddy. You know what I mean? So instead of like, it was like ID, like you're just the ID of Diddy. Like you're just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing. And then they had McFly was the surname to it because they were comparing me to Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
Yeah, classic.
So that had a lot of story to it because, you know, if you ever seen the movie and, you know, the whole thing about the movie. So it was kind of like, that was like what I did to my school kind of energy, you know? And that's what I kind of brought there, like the obscure, but kind of like the everybody still knew him to, you know, kind of do something wild, crazy at the end of the school year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was that all together. And then that Tuesday afternoon, that call to the DJ, and the DJ saying, hey, what about Memphis Bleak? And I said, at the time, it was like, okay, it's 2006. Bleak had just put an album out.
Yeah, he was a man back then.
You know what I mean? It was like, all right, fine. You know what I'm saying? Rockefeller, like, he's going to be recognized. Sure, we'll use Bleak. We had the deal done in less than 48 hours. Like, contract over here, money sent.
So you have venue and all that stuff, and like you put all that together.
The venue part of it was the only psychedelic part because it was supposed to be a 2-part event. To this day, that I probably, if they ever saw this recording, they probably, hey, you still owe us for that. Because what happened was the deal was because of his price, he was like, all right, I know you're in school. So, we're going to go to the school, but we got to do the show because that's how we're going to get the dough. So, it was like, all right, we're going to do your project. We're going to do your project. And then you want to really do the concert too, but that's the whole point, right? Okay, so we're going to do the school. And then
I can only imagine your teacher's reaction when you're like, hey, yeah, here's my final project. And like Memphis Bleak comes out and it has just like, it's just having a banger in the middle.
Let me explain how the legend starts though, because let me tell you, now mind, what I tell you what happened, right? I said this was Tuesday. I call him, right? It's Nextels. Chirp.
Yeah.
So he chirps him, Bleak, yo. And they having a whole conversation via chirp. And he's like, yo, what about such and such? And beep, beep. And we
waiting.
All right, we'll do it. That's how it was. It was walkie-talkie. You know what I'm saying? Putting the deal together at first. So then, later that night, after I went and backstopped my end, I went back to their house, the studio, and I got on the phone with, you know, the proper management people and stuff like that. And they said, oh, you know, everybody try to get a feel for you, like, oh, the kid's serious? Is he pulling our leg? Are we wasting time here? You know, let everybody, you know, talk to me and stuff like that. And like, yeah, you know, I got this, sent that everything, came back. All right, cool. They did what they had to do. They didn't, you know, that's the hardest part, to get people to do what they got to do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? They were looking for the opportunity and looking forward to the opportunity, you know, which was another thing. Put Tuesday to rest. Wednesday, now I have to figure out everything between not just the contract side. Now we got to figure out the money contracts. Now we agreed that we're going to do something contingent. Now we got to agree on exactly what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Wednesday. So it was Wednesday. I'm running up and down the street like.
And the event is supposed to be when?
Friday.
Oh, okay.
My project is due Friday, 2:00, and it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm shuttling back and forth from school to the house, to my house, running back and forth, chirping, trying to pull all this stuff together. Pull it all together, get the money deposit sent to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was no Venmo back then.
No, none of that. So had run around, get the faxes, do this, do that. It was all that all day. And mind you, no one knows, and I have to keep it under wraps.
So how are you getting people, how are you solidifying people to come to the concert or whatever?
That's the point, because the concert hasn't happened yet. That's the part. That's the whole caveat to the story. The only part that happened was the project.
So you locked in Memphis Bleak with no people.
I locked them in for the project. So the project was still supposed to turn into the concert, but it never turned into the concert. So this is the story. This is how it goes. Before it gets to that part, because it's still the big deal is with the school.
Yeah.
Because the project was really the main thing. It's really about the project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The concert, we could get to that. It was really about the project because that was the deadline. I had to do the.
So what happened? Get to the good part. People are waiting.
All that back and forth. Thursday, they called me into the office. They like, yo, so what are we doing for the, what's gonna happen? And I've been keeping everything under wraps now because it's so fluent. I'm so working by myself, just trying to get it done. It's kind of like they've been almost they have no idea what's happening. So it's the principal, his first year, because you was talking about the turnover there at that level. It was the WISE coordinator, Mr. Andriatis, my guidance counselor at the time, I think it's probably Mr. Foy and his probably co-counsel or whoever, and myself. And we're all sitting in the principal's office, kind of like, so we know you had an idea of doing something big. You know what I'm saying? We need to know what it is. We got to, we got to CYA at this point. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? And I start telling them what's going to happen. They start getting cold feet. Oh, no, we don't know about this. It's all this kind of stuff going on. Are these guys being paid? Whose money are they using? We don't want this to get this, that, and the third. We don't want any of this stuff to happen. And it's like, and they don't have to worry about any of this stuff because it's already done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, they're about to pull the plug on the school. Like, no, you can't do the concert and disrupt the school.
Yeah.
So it's like, I lost the venue when it was all said and done on Thursday, and the whole thing went to crap. So now I walk out of the office. I'm not distraught, but I'm like, like my ego is kind of like, hurt a little bit. I put a lot of work into this, and now the school is like, yo, you're about to not even do. They're about to say, no, we're just going to give you the A. No, don't do anything. We'll just give you the A for the effort. I'm like,
that's nice.
Why are you gonna? I already did what I had to do. What do you mean you're gonna just give me? I don't want just the A. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna.
So what happened? People want to know if the concert happened or not.
The concert didn't happen, but what happened was I walked out of the office, and I got on the phone, a little frantic, and this is the most important part of my career at this point, because now I'm about to be exposed if this falls through. And I said to him, yo, they trying to shut me down here at the school. I don't know what to do. DJ says, we're coming anyway. He said, we're coming anyway.
But it never happened.
They came anyway.
Oh, so they did come and have it.
They came anyway, is the point.
So did you pass or fail your WISE class?
Of course I passed. I got out of high school. but the fact of the matter is they were trying to just give me the A, say don't do anything. We don't want a lawsuit. We don't want this. We don't want to come in and can't talk. And then they were just, heads were going to explode. They were sure jobs are going to be lost. I'm pretty sure.
So Friday comes and they still throw the thing. And now
Friday comes, nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Still. So after he tells me that, I hang up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like main office, like to my right, I'm walking. And Allison, y'all don't know if you remember her. Make sure.
No.
She's on track. She saw me. She was like, Darnell, you okay? I'm like, I'm good. And that was it. I didn't say nothing else. It's like, oh, don't worry about nothing. So, are you doing your project? Are you doing your project? Don't worry about it. So I gave them a little bit of like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
So how did word officially get out? People want the whole story.
So now Friday comes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the showtime now.
Mm-hmm.
Friday's here, and I'm the only one in communication with the DJ. He let me know because I had to meet him the night before to give him extra whatever to make sure the car service was straight. So I'm going to be in contact with you every point. You know what I mean? Every pickup, every day, so you know that we're not messing around.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciated that. So he did that every point throughout. We here. We picked up Murder. We picked up Bleak. We over here. We back at Def Jam. We doing this. We on the way up. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Along the way. And then I was in the office, and then there was a couple people in the office, a few girls. I'm gonna leave them nameless right now.
Yeah.
You know
Don't put.
But they was in the office, and basically, I had to close the door, and I had a conversation with Bleak. So the conversation with Bleak was like, you know what, yo man, I appreciate it, whatever, but school's acting funny. I just got to let you know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I already had conversation, but I got to let you know they acting funny from yesterday, whatever. And Bleak was just like, yo, whatever you want to do, that's what the F we do. You say we do this, we do that. Whatever, we here for you.
Mm-hmm.
After, like he was just F-bombing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like, we support you. Mm-hmm. It's all about you right now. And that was the biggest thing for me because,
you had his blessings.
The girls was right there listening to that, but I didn't care about that. It was more about like he was really empowering me to know that like you did what you had to do. I'm impressed by what you had pulled together in a matter of how you made sure all this stuff happened to get me in the car service, and I'm on my way to your school. Yeah. Oh no, we doing whatever you want to do.
That's cool.
That was his attitude. So by the time he got there, I think it was a little conspicuous at the time because he came in a big black Navigator.
Yeah.
And and you probably don't remember the Woodlands campus, but basically,
of course you do.
Yeah. He came in the back by like where you like the kitchen or somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
The trucks or something like that go back there, or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And I had built a little bit of a rapport with the school security officer. And he was like a real cop or whatever. So I was like, yo, can you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, of course. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I have to, if nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that was cool. And he was a cool dude, cool cop. You know what I'm saying?
So everything was successful.
Yeah. He handled, everybody was cool, came upstairs and we went and we did my presentation like I'm doing to you in the WISE room. And basically just explaining the story. So, but I didn't do most of the talking. Bleak did most of the talking. So Bleak was just like, yeah, this kid's this, he did this. Yo, I'm so impressed with him. Yo, he gonna be that next dude. He was giving me all this praise in front of everybody, and it was just kind of like, how did he get that experience in him? You know what I mean? And it wasn't that he embellished, but it was more like he embellished because he could just
He was doing it out of respect for you because he probably saw the hard work that you put in.
A young kid, like, trying to use a project to graduate high school.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Like, I was like, I'm trying to do this project because this project has to help me graduate. Wasn't trying to see it another way.
Yeah.
If I was going to graduate, I had to be doing this project, had to be doing WISE. And I had to do it, and he did, and that's what it was. And from there, he gave me, and from there, I've been like, Rock La Familia family since, because the whole christening with the rock chains and all that kind of stuff, and that's really all it was, But from that, of course, I've established my relationships with people in the industry, and
So how did you grow on that from when you graduated high school and stay in the music industry and stay involved with that and
well,
build on all that?
I didn't initially, like you said, the concert didn't happen. That didn't happen because I lost my underwriting.
Okay,
you know what I mean. But from that. Which was like a whole that's a whole spin-off series in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to college. I didn't want to go to college. I just wanted to do concerts, make money, and move on like that. But I went to college and went to SUNY Old Westbury, and
that's out in Long Island, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my second semester there, no, actually, I went there for one semester, took off, went back to intern with the guys. They were really ramping up music and putting out a single and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A year later from when I first was interning with them.
And this was before like Apple Music and everything, right? Yeah, was it still handing out mixtapes and all this stuff?
So at this time, the new technology was what we were using. Like, it was the platform that this guy named CL, Corey Llewellyn, was building with DigiWax.
Okay.
And DigiWax was an MP3 email blast service.
Isn't it crazy how far we've come?
They were email blast service that you paid them to email all the DJs around the world your record. It's still it's email marketing.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So
but now a DJ can just go online and stream stuff off there or take it offline, which technically is still similar to downloading it off of email, but I feel like it's probably so different now than what it was when you were coming up. When we first were 8 years old, back in the basketball days.
Right.
What we used to do is, I remember my brother putting a tape recorder in the thing and taking music off the radio to record it onto that. Right. And then when we were in high school, it was CDs. We had the CDs.
Burning CDs.
Actual CDs. Mm-hmm. And then from that, maybe we jumped over into iPod 1 version.
Yeah, the MP3 player, then the iPod.
MP3. Yeah. And then, but we were on Napster and we were making CDs, illegally downloading and stuff like that. Right. So how is the music changed so how do you keep up with the music industry changing so much with the dude being ahead of the game with that program, emailing, blasting out MP3s to now where it's at, where if you're still involved with music, how different it is and how you keep up with all that technology.
So you said a lot.
Yeah, my bad.
A little bit, to be honest with you, because I mean, as somebody who's in the music industry, even not as much in the forefront as some people may expect, or maybe I could be, I'm very much in it on the knowledge side. I'm always following it. I'm a part of it because I'm a songwriter. I've been a songwriter with CSAC for the past 10 years.
Excuse me.
So it's. But before that, going back to your first question, how did I take that and I went to college, I got a radio show. Mm-hmm. I invited the DJ who gave me that shot, bringing Bleak, to my radio show. Nice. And then that was my affiliation with Desert Storm. So Desert Storm was a record label or imprint at the time under Rockefeller.
Ja Rule was in Desert Storm, right?
That was DJ Clues.
Oh, okay.
DJ Clue had, he's still on the radio here in New York.
Yep.
But he was big in the mixtape era. You know what I mean? Clue mixtapes.
Yep.
All the biggest artists wanted to be on a Clue mixtape. Just like he did the big backstage with Jay-Z back in 1999 and that whole tour. So that, just imagine that whole unit, that's the family tree I come from. That whole, if you can think about backstage in 1999, Rockefeller,
it was Hot 97 and Death Flex and all those guys.
That whole era, that's the family tree I fall from, as far as musically and in the industry and stuff like that. And I was a young guy coming up, teenage guy, not even coming on the music side. I was coming in on a different type of tip, and I introduced myself, more as, okay, I have this platform at my college that you guys can come and utilize. And
So were you playing music, or was it?
I was playing music that Desert Storm would acquire as a record pool. So
You were playing like brand new stuff, or like
brand
up and coming
new, the
artists?
hottest of the, you know what I mean? I'm getting exclusive 50 Cent.
Oh,
I'm
really?
getting exclusive, you know, because they sending it to Clue. You know, and Clue, because at the time, the way the music industry worked, he had just taken a job with 105.1, which was a salary job, which was he couldn't do the mixtape game no more. Because, you know, it's different rules when you was on the radio at that time. You know what I mean? Playing records and stuff like that, and have to follow the program and so on and so forth. So he looked at it, especially with the salary he was getting, as an opportunity to really solidify himself. And henceforth, everybody else under the imprint had to kind of figure their way, you know? Because he basically, he took a job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go to work now. You know what I mean? So you guys, look, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to work, you know, I'm going to get a regular job working here, you know, of course I'm going to carry the name, but, you know.
So was it almost like you were discovering music for him as well?
It was not even so, it's not even so much that I was discovering music. It was more, here's a, because a lot of what I would say to help you explain, I don't know, some of it might still be a little sensitive information, you know? So what I will say is, at the time, the person who, the reason Bleak came and co-signed me the way he did that day was merely because of what we've already expressed, right? But it was also ironic because his relationship at that time wasn't the greatest with, you know, the person who was the in-between, the DJ, who became a good friend of mine, you know? And and that reason being has something to do with, you know, somebody who we all know is one of the biggest imprints in music coming from that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So with that person remaining nameless, you know, we can just, at least for now, put the puzzle together that he had basically did something that wasn't in favor. You know what I mean? As far as putting out music, as part of being a mixtape DJ. And he kind of fell on his sword about that. And, you know, they were just residual effects. Let's just say that, you know. So I was more of what I discovered, I should say, is that I was more of a ploy to win back that relationship in a benign way, where it was like, okay, I can, you know, still show value to this person, and we're doing something innocent, you know. We're going to help son graduate, you know.
Yeah.
Like, who's not going to be behind that? You know, like, come on, we're going to help him graduate, knock it off. You know, so, and he did all the business. Wait till you meet him. You know what I'm saying? Wait till you see who he is, though.
So why do you think so many people were in your corner to help you? Was it just like you were always doing the right thing? It was
stroke of luck because it wasn't really so many people in my corner.
Okay.
It was more stroke of luck. It was more like.
And who did you know? Who did you know how to trust and not to trust? Because like as we mentioned on the last podcast or whatnot, like when I knew you back in the day, I always knew your pops as Corin, and like the man, you know, that he was there. He was at basketball games, and I don't remember your mom too much, and it sounds like your mom was more of a figure growing up than your pops down the road. Like, so how did you start to learn going through so many different schools and traveling?
I mean, to be honest,
trust?
Yeah, to be honest, I think throughout the time that I think you remember, I think they both were. You know?
Yeah. No, they definitely were, and I just remember because your dad was in the basketball photo.
Both were there. I think because I like where you're trying to go with it, and I want to follow you there. I just want to make sure I'm doing it, you know.
I want to ask in the musical sense of it. It's just like, how did you know who was a trustworthy person that was giving you good advice and who's not? You know, who might just be having that. Well,
I took most of my advice from my paternal side. You know what I mean? Not even my stepfather, from my actual father. He was somebody around that time that I kind of ironically went to more for counsel. And
what was your pops' name?
Because I guess mostly because my relationship with just, you know, my mom's husband was strained, you know? So I went to him more for counsel. And that's, that was always, I didn't realize like that dynamic in and of itself, at a young age, that was flying way over my head.
Yeah, of course. Me too. My parents were
But you know
divorced.
what
I
I'm
never
saying?
knew
Yeah,
about what was
yeah.
going on.
That was flying way over my head. It
Yep.
was more about, hey, look, here's what I'm trying to do. Do you believe in me? And he would be like, yes. So it was like, yes, I do. If they don't, nobody else, I do.
Yeah. Yep.
So when he had that, he said, yo, I'm gonna talk to my best friend. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get you this money, and we're gonna underwrite this situation. You know what I mean? So much as you can prove that it can happen. Getting back to the part where you want to talk about how you know who you can trust and so on and so forth. Yes, at a young age, I heard chatter a lot from all sides.
Sure.
Absolutely. The most interesting chatter that I heard, I'm going to be honest, was my relationship with Rough Riders. And at the time, one of their representatives was a female named Kiwana Collins. She was really like OD in my corner. Like, she was so like happy for me. She was so like, oh yeah, like we're gonna do this kind of attitude, because she really just liked the energy that I had and the enthusiasm. And even if I didn't know everything I was supposed to do, she knew I just had enough enthusiasm that I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
And her attitude towards the deal was more like, you got something here, but the people that you have who want to structure how they want to pay us, that's not how we do business in the music industry. They wanted half up front before anything, and then the other half when they show up to the venue before performance. And to the investors that I had, that was like, I'm putting the cart before the horse. You're supposed to put the words out and sing and people dance and buy tickets, and then I reciprocate. And they didn't understand how the artist was trying to designate their value, that this is how we get money, because we're not getting money any other kind of way through these records and all this other stuff that the label got going on.
Yeah.
We get our money from these. This is important, especially that upfront money. You know what I mean? Because we have no operating capital to get there, to look good, and my investors was not getting that.
So was it harder to get trust from your investors as opposed to the artist?
Absolutely,
because you have a relationship you built with them?
In my tenure doing music, I'm good with all the artists.
Yeah, of course. You built that relationship.
I'm cool. I'm cool with all the artists, but that's not the point. The point is, like, I'm supposed to be bringing money to them too. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it became a place of like, you got to pick a lane, because like you supposed to bring money here, but then you also doing what we do. So it's kind of like we don't know which way to kind of figure how you're going to come. So that was really what became my challenge as I got older. But at the time when I was just focusing on, like that relationship with Kiwana, I'm still in Wise and trying to put this program together. Project together for the program. It was more about, I have investors who have real money and they want to do things by their rules, and they don't want to do things, and they're like marginalizing the fact that they have their own set of rules in the music industry, and like they're just saying, oh, it's not good business, or we're just not going to do that, or whatever. And now the people on this side is like looking at it like, wow, how is it not we not do good business? This is what we do on a daily basis. This is our industry. This is what it's your people.
I think that's where a lot of clashing comes into place, even in
I was right in the middle.
Yeah,
I was caught in the middle of that. And
I think times have changed now, where brands and companies and investors, and it's usually the people who are out of touch that don't know what's exactly going on the ground level. Mm-hmm. Where in the past they might have been like, nah, man, we do stuff our way and this and that, and then nothing gets done. The party's whack. Mm-hmm. Nobody has a good time. Whereas now people are starting to understand, like, it's more about the experience, have a good time, throw a banger, and then, you'll get your money up front. And then it's more of like a good rapport thing, where it's like, all right, you gave me the bread, we're going to have an awesome party, and I'm going to show you this is what we do.
Right. And here's the thing. And to their credit as investors,
they got to look out for themselves.
How many artists then ran out on jumped on the deposit money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And created a bad. So it was all of that too. Especially around that time, because they were getting starved in other kind of situations.
Of course.
You know, having to mix and mingle with being in the street and trying to make this and make that and having kids and so on and so forth. And it's like, you need this and the rent and somebody's sick and it's real life going on. And it's like, I didn't mean not to show up, but this happened and I got the money already, but I couldn't show up. And now this is the lawsuit. Now I got to pay extra money. Now I got to do extra crazy stuff. And, you know, it just turns into a world like that for them that I got to experience, like right there, that some of it rubbed off on me, some of it I've even experienced. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, you know, me being in that middle spot, you know what I mean, was the toughest thing, because here it is, I got my father, my biological father, who's underwriting the deal to the money, and he's telling me, as a gatekeeper of so to speak, like, we're not doing it, or I can't force their hand to do this with people who are asking for XYZ up front without actually doing something, or this, that, and the third, or whatever. Like, if you want this money, you gotta play by these rules. And they were trying to position it in a way that, like, don't let these guys fool you. Like, they don't run around and do stuff and then get paid on the back end. They're just trying to use you as a young kid to suck the money out of you, because they know they could do that to you. Anybody else established, they can't pull that on. And that was where.
So how did you figure that out? How did you balance that?
I mean, that was just one side of the coin.
Yeah.
The other side of the coin was, listen, we handle business like this for a reason. Your peoples don't know what we got to go through with the labels, do this, that, and the third. We've been doing a bunch of free stuff and sponsor stuff and whatever we got to do for our brand to make them more money. When it's time to go on the road, or we got somebody to book us, that's our money. That's us. That's our likeness. We need that money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not a game, because we getting all these expenses that we racking up just because we have a certain brand and image, whatever like that, not knowing how much debt we going into, because we just living our life, living a brand that's making them more money, yet somehow we end up in debt for it. And now we got to pay that back. And it's life. Like, I need money up front to sing and dance, like, period. And you want me to dress up, and you want to have a good show, and, you know, you want me to possibly bring somebody with me, and, you know what I mean, all this kind of stuff. Is like, come on, what do you think, this stuff is free? Like, you know what I mean, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, we just pulling this, like, how you pulling the resource together to do this? And then I guess the money people on my side was expecting me to circumvent and, you know what I'm saying, do it the OD way. But it's like, but then y'all don't want to pay for that way either, because you know, if I go that way all the way up to Cara Lewis, then you know this is going from 20,000 to 120,000. You know, so why are we going to play ourselves? And it was like each side was putting a what do you call that term in politics?
Like a bartering
like
chip?
A filibuster.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, each side had was just digging.
Their talking points. Yeah.
Yeah, and like every side had, you know, they kind of thing, and that was where it personally bothered me, because it was like it was like nobody trusts that we could just do this. Like, are y'all serious? You know, it was just kind of like, I don't know. And
it is tough. I mean, it is super tough though, man, because I've lent out $5 before or something like that, and I almost want to be like, come on, man, you gonna pay me back this shit? And it's just like, when it comes to some serious money, like I've seen it with my dad and my brother. Like, my brother brought a condo in Dominican Republic, and my dad lent the money, and he made him sign a contract. Like, that's his blood son, you know? Like, he made him sign a contract. And when my brother first told me that, I was like, what? That's weird. He was like, nah, man, like, it's sort of legit. Like, it needs to happen, because shit happens, man. Like, something comes up, and they do have to flake out of the event. You're like, come on, man, we gave you all this money, and there's no contract signed. You're asked out. Right.
That's exactly what it was. And I think more than anything, it wasn't the fact that at first, when it was a contract issue, that's when I learned if I was dealing with the right people or not. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of the guys who didn't want to do contract stuff, but you also didn't know me, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, everybody wants to talk, oh, yeah, me and such ain't got no contract. We this, that, and the third. But you also got 20 years of probably knowing each other, too, don't you?
Yeah.
Or 10 years of some type of rapport, your family or something that is no contract. Versus, like, you think it's like, oh, no, we don't need no contract. Just give me the bread. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And that was my first lesson. I never lost bread in that situation, thank God, because I felt like that was where I sought counsel from my father, who was, you know, keen on pointing out different shit out, you know, at different times, and I watched that, you know what I mean? I watched out for that, like, all right, y'all, I don't really know you like that, but you don't want no contract, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I never said it, but it
fishy.
was just kind of like,
yeah,
you know, why don't you want one if you don't know me like that? But you want to take the bread. You know what I'm saying? You want me to say when I'm going to have the bread. You ain't worried about when I say I have the bread, because if I don't have it, then it don't matter. But once I have it and you got it, what matters is if you do what you're supposed to do for it, you know? So that was the beginning of when I started to see that. But most of all, my entire experience has always been professional, has always been emails, calling, leaving messages, calling back.
Nextel bleeping.
Yeah, all of this stuff. All of this stuff. IM.
The AIM.
Like it was
two-way pagers.
All methods of communication, which is why, you know, we have the conversation now. It's like, why are you talking about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's kind of like, I had the radio show, and there was just a lot of internal stuff going on behind the scenes. Like there was always another, you know, other storylines going on that were independent of my own, even inside of my own world. So, like I was saying, the relationship between the DJ and Bleak, why that was the way it was, that had some serious implications to it. Very, and it's probably to this day, it's probably why everything is still weird, you know? And I remember there came a point before I even knew that, before I even was even privy to that information, because he privied it to me. That's why I don't want to say too much of it. There came a time right after, you know, Bleak came to school. School went upside down anyway. They had to shut down school. Kids had to go. Half the school didn't even see him. You know, only the people in the room. So it was like a big thing. Snuck him out of there, whatever. That next week, I'm getting calls to my school from Dame Dash's office. This is 2006. So they had were going through like a rupture in the company at the time.
Dame Dash was the CEO of FUBU, right?
Yeah, he was a CEO of.
Oh, Dame Dash is that was.
He was CEO of Rockefeller. I mean, you CEO of Rockefeller. Like it was three of them. It was Dame, Biggs, and Jay. But Dame, he had got his own stuff going on. His own Dash Enterprises stuff with Rachel Roy and his old baby mama. You know what I mean? He had a lot of other stuff. He had Procaz. He had a lot of other ventures going on, 10 other ventures. And he somehow they called right after the thing with Bleak. Next week they was calling the school like, bring him to the office. We want to bring him in and like whatever. And I remember going there, Dame Dash office. He wasn't there. I didn't meet Dame. I guess he was on vacation or something like that. But of course, his assistant Jasmine was there. And I was in his office somewhere, 50-something Street, I believe, or something. I can't remember exactly. 50-something. Don't give me the line. I don't remember exactly where it was. But cool. It was a nice office until the AC went out and the internet went out. And then I was just kind of like, how might that happen? You know what I'm saying? And then, I think the next day, I was talking to the DJ, and I was like, yo, this guy, he, brought me to the office, and he wasn't there. And then he wasn't there, it was like nothing for me to do. The internet went down, and then, AC stopped working. It was just weird in there. You know what I'm saying? And it was just kind of like, he didn't say much. He was reserved. He was just like, yo, I can't tell you which way to go. I can't tell you who to choose. I was like, yo, I'm from the outside looking in. I'm a kid. All I see is Jay-Z over here making it look like Dame Dash over here. And Dame is from Harlem. I got family from Harlem. I don't even live in Brooklyn. But I love Jay-Z and I love all the things that Bleak did for me. and they from Brooklyn. So where you know what I'm saying? Is there a line I'm supposed to walk? I asked this question. Is there a line I'm supposed to walk in this case? And he just said, you know what? You just gotta do what's right for you, kind of thing. And I just said at that point, well, I'm just gonna err on the side of Dane didn't do anything for me. You guys did. You know what I'm saying? You guys came to my school. Bleak came to my school. Y'all gave me the rock. I met y'all. Y'all met me. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep my allegiance with y'all for now, because y'all who I know. He didn't have no interest in me until I'm sure he probably heard what happened. So
let me fast forward to now, just because I gotta hop off soon. My daughter's not doing too well. She's feeling a little sick. Yeah. I want to fast forward quickly to just how you're doing now, where you're at now, and then we could catch up, part 2 or something like that.
So right now, like I said, fast forward all of that. I've had a lot of time writing, so I'm back recording. I got a new project I want to put out, a new EP. It's a lot of, love in it. And then there's also a few other songs that are just like songs that kind of kicking the tires a little bit. It's just an EP, but I just want to just let the music speak for where I am right now. And that's really all that I have to put out there, besides, reaching out to people in the industry of finance, because that's what I do on a daily basis, helping people, families and stuff like that. If it's not those two things, that's really like where I am today.
You involved in politics? You following any of this stuff that's going on?
Yeah, man. I'm watching. See, if I show you, CNN is over down them in the background.
Who's your guy? Don't say you're rocking with Trump. Is Bernie your guy?
Am I rocking with Trump? What?
Who?
Trick question?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Who is there anybody you like politically?
I mean, yeah, I like Bernie. I mean, I don't, man, I'm nobody's wowing me yet. I'm a little shrewd, when I listen to these people, because I listen to them every day. Yeah. I watch the CNN stuff every day.
There's so much info out there, man. It's hard to keep up all that shit.
I'm shrewd, but I like where Bernie's going. I think he's got an opening with all the stuff that Trump is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
If he uses it right, that's what I really want to see. I want to see the strategy. I don't want to see just your name. I don't want to just see what you used to do. That's how you treat me as an individual when I gotta get a job. You don't want to hear what I used to do. You want to know what's going to happen right now. So I want to see how he positions himself as a politician to look at this as an opportunity on a global stage to step up and do what he got to do as a senator. And absolutely, that's what I want to see, and I think he could do it if it look like he playing his cards right. So that's where I stand, to be honest with you right now, and I don't get too political because my job won't allow me get too political. But if I say I wanted to see something from somebody, I would like to see that. I would like to see that in politics. Somebody take charge.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I'm a big Bernie guy. That's my guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I think he's passionate. I think he really cares about what he's doing. But outside of that, you all good, man? I'm sorry to cut it short.
Listen, man. Life is good, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm blessed. I had a great holiday.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man. I had a great holiday. I came into, a new situation at the job, so now I'm, financially a lot more secure.
I'm happy we did this too, man, because I know we mentioned last time, I felt, and maybe just because I hadn't reached out, but I reached out through some different channels that we have mutual friends and was like, what's up with Darnell? Mm-hmm. And people were like, he's doing this, he's doing that. I don't know what he's doing. So I'm happy we connected through social media. Man, hibernation is donezo.
And I want you to see more of me too, man.
Definitely.
So if I gotta come to the show where you at, man, that's what I'm gonna do.
Chicago, or when I'm back in New York, we'll link up, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I'll let you go. I know you're doing this.
Appreciate it, D. It's all love, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right then.
All right, peace.